place where two continents are both locked together and separated. This is a crossroads where history meets geography, where the mystery of the East dances with the dynamism of the West on the streets. On one side, the warm turquoise of the Mediterranean; on the other, the infinity of the Aegean steppes. This is a land where opposites exist in harmony. This is not just land, it is civilization itself. A cradle where the mighty stones of Rome, the spiritual mosaics of Byzantium, and the magnificent domes of the Ottoman Empire whisper under the same sky. From the silent ruins of the Hittites to the sea-facing tombs of Lycia, from the dreamscape carved by Cappadocia's fairy chimneys to the timeless current of the Istanbul Bosphorus, with every step you tread upon a 1,000-year-old epic. This is Turkey, a unique stage where continents and time meet. With this documentary, we will dive into the mysteries of this unique country. Vast Wander presents a city built around a waterway that connects two continents, but at the same time separates them. Istanbul has served as the capital for three great empires throughout its 1,000-year history: Roman, Byzantine, and Ottoman. This dense heritage reveals itself in every corner of the city. The ferries shuttling between the Asian and European sides are an inseparable part of the city's daily life. On the historical peninsula, the architectural genius of Hagia Sophia, the elegance of the Sultanahmet Mosque, and the imperial past of Topkapi Palace lay bare the city's layered history. At the same time, the labyrinthine streets of the Grand Bazaar and the spice scents of the Spice Bazaar keep alive a trading tradition that has continued for centuries. Just opposite this historical texture, the Genoese heritage of the Galata Tower and the cosmopolitan energy of Istiklal Avenue display the city's different identities. Istanbul is not just a historical museum, but also a dynamic and crowded 21st-century metropolis, living in a geography defined by the Bosphorus. There is such great historical wealth in the city that, be assured, if we had made only an Istanbul documentary, we would have enough content for a whole documentary. If you can visit one day, you can easily see that every street has a separate museum, a work of art, or a special place. With the unique architecture of the buildings in the back streets of Galata Tower, the magnificent Bosphorus view from the Anatolian and Rumeli fortresses. With the perfect atmosphere of Bebek, İstinye, and Ortaköy, Istanbul can undoubtedly and easily enter the list of the top 5 most beautiful cities in the world. The fact that it was the main focus of empires in every period throughout history already proves this. Izmir, Turkey's largest metropolis on the Aegean coast, has always set itself apart from the rest of the country. This is a port city with thousands of years of history, known in antiquity as Smyrna, and this identity deeply shapes the city's character today. Unlike Istanbul's dense and imperial-heavy history, Izmir's atmosphere is lighter, Mediterranean, liberal, and full of joy for life. The heart of the city beats on the famous cordon, which stretches along the bay. Here, people walk without rushing, sit on the grass, or spend time in cafes lined up against the sea. This coastline is the center of the city's inseparable bond with the sea and its social life. The elegant clock tower in Konak Square is the city's most well-known symbol and offers a beautiful example of late Ottoman architecture. Just behind it, the historical Kemeraltı Bazaar, with its narrow streets, inns, and shops, is living proof of a trade tradition that has continued for centuries. Izmir is a dynamic and west-facing city that blends its Levantine roots, Greek past, and the identity of the modern Republic of Turkey, defining itself as the Pearl of the Aegean. If Istanbul and Izmir are cities shaped by the sea and trade, Ankara is the city of will and determination. This is the capital deliberately chosen right in the middle of Anatolia to be the heart of a new republic born from the ashes of an empire. Its geographical location determines its identity as one that is far from the sea, continental, and strategic. The city's soul reflects the seriousness and order of modern nation-building rather than imperial nostalgia. The most dominant and meaningful structure of the city is Anıtkabir, rising on a hill. This is the mausoleum of the founder Mustafa Kemal Ataturk and is not just a visitation point, but the embodiment of the Republic's ideals. Right opposite this modern symbol stands the city's thousands of years of past. The steep walls of the Ankara Castle and the old Ulus district beneath it reveal the city's Roman, Byzantine, and Ottoman layers, with narrow streets and historical inns. The new city, on the other hand, is planned around wide boulevards stretching from Kızılay to Çankaya, ministry buildings, embassies, and universities. Unlike Istanbul's chaotic charm, Ankara's rhythm is more predictable. more formal. This is Turkey's political, administrative, and diplomatic center. Right in the heart of Anatolia, the Cappadocia region, centered in Nevşehir, is sharply distinguished from Turkey's other geographies. This is a surreal landscape where geology has almost turned into a work of art. Millions of years ago, the lava and ash erupted by the Erciyes, Hasan Dağı, and Guludağ volcanoes covered the region with a soft layer of tuff. The erosion by wind and rain, lasting for thousands of years, carved this tough layer, creating capped, cone-shaped rock formations called fairy chimneys. However, what makes Cappadocia unique is not only these geological formations. The real story lies in the relationship humans established with this geography. Humans used these soft rocks as shelters and homes. Especially for the first Christians fleeing the persecution of the Roman Empire, this place became an ideal hiding spot. The Göreme Open-Air Museum is the most striking proof of this period. It houses dozens of churches and monasteries carved into rocks, with frescoes adorned with scenes from the Bible that retain their vibrancy even today. The region also hosts massive underground cities, complex enough to shelter thousands of people. Today, this fairy tale-like landscape has become a worldwide icon, integrating with hundreds of hot air balloons filling the sky every morning at dawn. Turkey's history is as layered as its geography, and these layers can be seen in the architectural wonders scattered across the country. Each one tells the story of a different era, empire, and faith. At the top of the list is undoubtedly Hagia Sophia, built as a cathedral in 537 by Byzantine Emperor Justinian. This structure was the largest center of Christianity for 1,000 years. Its massive dome and architectural revolution created the feeling of suspending in the air when it was completed. It was converted into a mosque with the conquest of Istanbul in 1453, became a museum in 1935, and regained its status as a mosque in 2020. Today, it is a unique symbol where Byzantine mosaics stand together with Islamic calligraphy panels, gathering the architectural heritage of two great faiths under the same roof. Ephesus, on the Aegean coast, was the capital of the Asia province during the Roman Empire and one of the largest port cities in the Mediterranean. Today, it is one of the best preserved examples of daily life in the ancient world. The facade of the iconic Library of Celsus, its marble-paved streets, the rich mosaics in the terrace houses, and its massive theater seating 25,000 allow visitors to directly experience the splendor of the Roman period. In southeastern Anatolia, the summit of Mount Nemrut at a height of 2,150 meters is home to one of the most peculiar and magnificent monumental tombs of the Hellenistic period. King Antiochus I of Commagene had a massive tumulus built for himself on this summit in the 1st century BC, along with statues of Greek and Persian gods on the terraces surrounding it. Today, the massive heads of these statues stand scattered on the terraces and offer a dramatic view, especially at sunrise and sunset. Kebab, perhaps the most internationally known face of Turkish cuisine, means simply grilled meat, but it is actually an art form. This does not consist merely of pieces of meat put on a skewer. The doner kebab, known by the world, is cut from layers of meat cooking while rotating on a vertical spit. In southeastern Anatolia, however, kebab is a craft. While Adana kebab adds hot pepper to lamb meat minced with a zur knife, Urfa kebab is plainer. Every region has its own unique cooking technique and marination method. Lahmacun, although generally referred to as Turkish pizza, is a dish unique to itself. It is a very thin, crispy dough cooked in a stone oven, on which a mixture of minced meat, onion, tomato, parsley, and spices is spread. It is a fast, delicious, and extremely popular street delicacy. Also known as Turkish manti, this dish is a masterpiece of labor identified especially with Kayseri. Tiny pieces of minced meat are put inside small dough squares, carefully closed and boiled in water. The real highlight of manti is in its presentation. First, plenty of garlic yogurt is poured over the boiled manti taken onto the plate, and then red pepper flakes and mint fried in butter are drizzled over it. The dolma and sarma categories constitute the foundation of the vegetable and olive oil culture in Turkish cuisine. Turkish coffee is not a type of bean, but a cooking and presentation method. Coffee ground to the fineness of dust is cooked slowly over low heat, together with water and optional sugar, in a small copper pot called a sezve, until foam forms. It is served in small cups with its grounds, that is, without being filtered. Turkish coffee is not just a beverage, but also a deep-rooted cultural ritual that is an integral part of hospitality, conversation, and even fortune-telling, done by turning the cup upside down. Mustafa Kemal Ataturk is the founder and most transformative figure of modern Turkey. His career as a successful military commander shone with his key role in the Gallipoli battles during World War I. Following the defeat of the Ottoman Empire and the subsequent occupation, he crossed into Anatolia in 1919 to organize and lead the Turkish War of Independence. After the 3-year military and diplomatic struggle resulted in victory, he brought his vision to life. He abolished the 600-year-old Ottoman Sultanate and became the country's first president by proclaiming the Republic of Turkey on October 29, 1923. However, his real legacy is the radical revolutions he realized during his presidency. Ataturk aimed to change society from the foundation up. He made secularism a constitutional principle, unified the legal and educational systems, aimed to increase literacy by adopting the Latin alphabet, and granted full political rights to women before many countries in the Western world. In 1934, the surname Ataturk, meaning Father of the Turks, was given to him by the Grand National Assembly of Turkey. Today, his legacy continues to live on in his mausoleum, Anıtkabir, in the capital, and in the fundamental institutions of the Republic. He is undoubtedly a name remembered with respect all over the world, and whom even today, country leaders commemorate with respect. Thank you for joining me on this journey in Turkey. While creating this film, I felt deeply once again that this country is much more than just its turquoise coasts or crowded bazaars. Turkey is an extraordinarily layered country that carries both the weight of a 1,000-year-old history and the dynamism of a young republic at the same time. This is a bridge where civilizations not only meet but are also reborn. If this journey resonated with you, I would like to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to continue exploring together, subscribe and join us on our next adventure. Finally, I want to honor this unique republic with these words of its founder, Mustafa Kemal Ataturk. The foundation of the Republic of Turkey is culture. Because in these lands, that rich heritage of thousands of years continues to be the inspiration for the future. Explore the world, discover the extraordinary. See you on the next adventure. Vast Wander presented.